I see this a lot on the internet. I'm watching a clip from a show I like, and then I venture into the comment section, and there's a comment discussing either a plot point in that show they don't like, or a character in that show they don't like. And then some smartass replies to that comment saying, "It's just a show, calm down, it's not real life." You mean to tell me that this show that features fictional characters isn't fucking real? Oh my fucking god, I didn't know. These types of comments have always annoyed me because you can get invested in a TV show or a video game or any other piece of fictional media even if it is not real. This is literally the fucking point of fictional media, to entertain you and to get you invested into it. And when a lot of people are hugely invested in said piece of media, they want to seek out like-minded people on the internet and discuss it with them. And this also includes aspects of that piece of media that they don't like again, a certain plot point or a certain character. Like if you're watching a TV show you really enjoy and you've sunk so many hours into said TV show, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where there's either a really stupid storyline or a new character is introduced and that character is so bad they actually drag down the quality of the show, then I think you have the perfect right to complain because you've given the showrunners so much of your time watching their show, and just because the show isn't real doesn't mean you can't be upset with a bad plot line or a bad character. Like, what would be the fucking point in media analysis then if everyone just collectively adopted the mindset that, oh, this show, video game, movie, whatever, isn't real, so therefore we can't judge it with a critical eye. Yes, I am perfectly aware that the media on my screen isn't real, thank you, genius, but that still does not mean that I should just accept any slop that showrunners or game devs want to throw at me. You don't have to be a blind fucking consumer and be like, well, this piece of media on my screen right now isn't real, so therefore I should just accept anything that happens, no matter how fucking moronic it may be. The shows Dexter and Game of Thrones are both 8 seasons long, and each episode of both shows are about an hour long, or even longer than that in some instances. And both shows have really fucking terrible final seasons, so when you invest that much time into a TV show and the payoff is garbage, I think you have the perfect right to complain. It is your time that you're devoting to these shows, and if the writers and showrunners clearly have very little respect for their audience, that they'll give them badly written slop in return, I see no reason to show them any deference. You don't have to accept whatever shit is on your screen just because it's not real. It is perfectly okay. Hell, it's good to have standards for fictional media. The audience deserves to have good, cohesively written fictional media. If you want sludge to turn your brain off to, just turn on a reality TV station. Are there times where people go too far? Absolutely. There are plenty of instances where writers get harassed or actors get harassed. Complaining about a bad piece of media or the quality decline of a piece of media is perfectly okay, but of course there are boundaries you don't cross. And then there's also shit like subreddits completely dedicated to hating on the final season of Game of Thrones, or a subreddit completely dedicated to hating on The Last of Us 2. That's definitely when the complaining gets too excessive. Look, I didn't like the way Game of Thrones ended either, and, well, I like Last of Us Part 2, but you don't have to dwell on how much you hate these things every waking hour years after the fact. That's when you can say it's just a show or it's just a game, when you feel such seething hatred for a piece of fictional media that you constantly have to talk about how much you hate it day in and day out. At that point, that's not healthy discussion about why you don't like a piece of media. No, that's just indicative that something is very wrong with you. But overall, have some standards for what you're watching or playing, and don't just accept any slop thrown at you just because it's not real and doesn't matter in the end. Sure, watching TV or movies or playing a video game are luxuries that we enjoy, and they do not supersede real issues going on in the world. But if what you're watching or playing has noticeably bad writing and it's hindering your enjoyment of said thing, or if you notice a clear decline in quality, You can complain. It is fine to express disappointment, and if you're a blind fucking consumer and you're like, well, this show or video game or movie isn't real, so I have no right to complain, and I'll accept just anything that's thrown at me, then fine, go be that. Just don't be an annoying shitbag towards people who actually have standards. Please and thank you. Humans are such obnoxious creatures. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.